What's up, YouTube? Back with another video. LA Mamba. It is Friday, September 19, 2025. It's 1:51 p.m. On a Friday, like I said, and we're at the park today. The shop is still open. We closed at 6, but I decided to leave the shop and make a video. I was thinking about topics to talk about today. I felt like making a video for you guys. So we think about the tire shop business as a long-term business, but you know how things change so fast, and the opportunities that I'm seeing right now. So that's why I wanted to call it how to be successful in the tire shop business in the next 6 months and up, 12 months. But currently, as we're right now in these days, we've been very busy. Some people have told me that they're not busy at their shop. I've been having a lot of days off just because I can. It's been very good for doing a lot of things I need to do. I got a lot of things to do, so it came in very, very helpful these last few days, weeks. It's been like about 2 weeks now that I have some very good free time away from the shop. But I'm still opening up some days. Tomorrow I won't be opening up. I have someone else opening up for me. But most of the times I do go open, and so I'm able to see what's going on, see how's the inventory's selling, and there's lots to talk about. I mean, it's very good. I love the business. You know how there's so many sizes and we can't have them all, so we gotta go sometimes, take a little trip to pick up tires, right? And no one can have them all. I mean, unless you're like one of those huge monster businesses that sell tires, install tires, and install tires and have them for wholesale. But for the smaller shops, for the small mom and pops, we usually have like 4 tires in stock, maybe 8, right? Because again, there's like, let's just say there's 100 tire sizes. So to have everything, it's pretty much really hard. But you can do your best in having as much as you can, and so you don't gotta drive to the warehouse, right? Again, it depends how much space you have too, but you'd be surprised that how much space you have if it's all very organized with really huge racks. And especially if you have if you're very sharp with your inventory. An example, if you have bought in the past, because we're always getting better, right? So if you have bought in tires in the past that have been selling recently, those hard move, slow sizes, but they have selling, they have space, and now you have the money to buy a better size, something that moves faster, right? Or something at a very good price, very low price, and you have the opportunity to do it, then now you can fill that place up, fill that spot up with better sizes, or more higher profit sizes than what you previously had. And that's one of the big things I'm seeing right now, is that I'm seeing a lot of opportunity in being able to buy tires at a very good price. And it's really up to you if you want to go hard and spending that money and waiting for a good return. I like to do that to a certain extent. I like to continue to push and try to have as much as inventory as possible, but different types of inventory. I'm not talking about the same stuff over and over. If just an example, if you have one of your wholesalers have, like, let's just say 25 units of a certain brand, then, and a certain size and brand, and you're able to just try it out, let's just say buy 4 of them, then that's what I like to do. I just, first of all, I just try 4 to see what the market is doing right now, because the market is always changing. So I like to buy 4, try it out, sell, and if it's good, I'll right away buy more. And if you know it's a size that is like, oh, for sure it's gonna be hot, then go ahead, right? Just do it all at once, get as much as you can for the amount of not really you putting in your position where it's gonna be holding you back on getting other sizes. I'd rather try things out and it sells fast, and let's just say you can't get them no more because your wholesaler sold all of them already. I'd rather take that chance than you buy a bunch and they just sit and you're kind of like at the same spot you were with the last tires, but you have more of them. And it's about doing things smarter. And so if you are able to try things out and then that's a better option in my opinion. And so yeah, there's a lot of that going on. There's a lot of good sales right now for I don't know what reason. There's good prices. I'm getting some good cheap tires, but are good quality. Inexpensive is what I mean. Very inexpensive tires, but very good quality brands. And that's been being very profitable. It's been very good. That's one of the ways I am. I mean, it's consistently we've been doing that, right? But it's just something where it's like, okay, you can save some money and then you can try things out. You have better quality inventory than what you had before, and you have more inventory now. So the other one is, of course, you're gonna have the other good thing about that is, of course, less trips to the new tire wholesaler. You're able to just, whoops, almost fell. You're able to just stick with stay in the shop and do what you're doing, and you don't gotta make that trip. Like today I made a trip for 31 10-50-15s Toyo street tire, and you know, I don't have any 31s at the shop, so I had to leave and go get some. So it's just an example where if I had them in stock, right, I'd have to go get them. So you're pretty much having tires that are gonna sit for a bit, and you're gonna sell them, and then you're gonna try to replace them if possible. If not, get something similar that will work. And again, one of the things I tried to do in the last 2 years was have orders for the customers, let's just say the next day. It went from, all right, let's just say the 3110 5015, I don't have them in stock. I get the customer in, make the sale, and he leaves, right? Put the order in. Next day, 11 o'clock in the morning, tires come in. So we're always gonna have that. I mean, again, unless we're really one of those huge people that have a ton of inventory. But for the average small mom and pop shop, we're always gonna have that. And then it went from me having enough tires in stock where, yeah, your money is sitting there, but eventually it's gonna sell and you don't gotta make that trip to the wholesaler. And then recently, in the last year, it kind of went to back to, since new wholesalers have been opening up very close and for very good prices, I didn't mind driving to the spot and go back. But now I'm back into getting it where it's like, well, if I just, you know, channel that money to having the tires in stock, then we're gonna be able to save that trip to the wholesaler and be able to stay in the shop. And so if you have enough of those sizes available to do that, then you'll quickly realize you'll be saving a lot of gas money. But a lot of time too, a lot of driving around won't be necessary. And so we're back on that route. I am reaping the benefits of going that route recently. And since there's so many good opportunities right now with very good low prices, it's even more easier to do that because you're spending less money that's just gonna sit there on your inventory. When prices were more expensive and there was less, you know, less deals going around, yeah, it hurt more, right? Because you have more money just sitting there. But not these days. Well, that's what I'm seeing. It's way cheaper now. So take advantage. And that's one of the reasons I'm doing that again, is to take advantage of the opportunity. It's a long conversation. But I think it just saves a lot of okay, that's one thing, right? Okay, so that's one thing. The next thing is, on the same conversation, if you don't gotta go take more trips to the wholesaler, and you're not there at the shop as much, which is an example of what I've been doing recently, and you have a system where your guys are not going to be driving to the wholesaler, right? Or in my case, I don't have them driving around, and I have them just order the tires. The next day they'll come in and they install them. I know a lot of you guys do have your guys drive around and pick up the tires and take them back and install them, but then that's where you have to have a truck there, right? You have to have a truck and they drive around the truck. I don't have a shop truck. I don't want to have a shop truck. I have, you know, you see my videos, you see my Camaros there. I don't want to take away a spot for the Camaros and have a truck there instead. I would just rather have a Camaro than a truck. So now they're able to sell more if they have it in stock compared to if they didn't and you have to wait the next day. So again, it's more of a reason to have more tires in stock, and you don't gotta be driving around or ordering them as least as possible. It's a big difference. It's a huge. It's something where a lot of people don't understand that, because also I'm not saying that they don't understand because, but I'm just saying it's something where, well, okay, this is the amount of money you gotta have in this case. Well, that's the case. I'd rather have another car, just an example, like a Corvette or something, than, you know, than pretty much having tires in stock, right? It just, you know, you have that thought, well, I can use the money instead of for that reason than for the other reason, right? And I see the, you know, the vision of that, but you can always get that Corvette later though, man. It ain't never gonna go away, and there's gonna be nicer ones that are cheaper and all that stuff. So just it's something where it's very worth it, you know. It's also something where you have like a longer plan, a longer view of a longer vision of the business, where it's like, okay, well, eventually you want to spend a little bit less time there. I don't know, you just gotta think about it, where do you see yourself in 10 years in the tire business, right? Like, how do you want your shop to operate? You can get there a lot sooner with having more inventory in stock. It's something so small, but it's such a big difference. That's a long conversation. I hope it doesn't bore a lot of you, but I mean, you can get there in 5 years. You want that Corvette in 5 years, where it's easy to. Okay, when I'm talking about you get the Corvette, right? I'm talking about like when the Corvette's like chump change, you know, like when it's just like pocket change to you at that point. You know, it's not a Corvette, it's just whatever kind of car you want, or whatever it is you want to do. But I'm telling you this because it's that much of a huge difference if you choose to if you choose to spend your money on the inventory and let it sit, then be like, I don't have to spend the money, I can just order them, and the next day the customer comes. And again, this goes for tires that are more, how can I say it? Tires that sell more in an inexpensive brand. I'm not talking about if you're gonna have 225, 55, 18 Continentals just sitting there until they sell. I'm talking about if you get let's just say an example, 235 55 18 Advanta or Royal. You know, that's what I'm talking about, like having like those tires in stock. And then at the same time, when you buy those Arroyos, those Advantas, you're gonna get them for a price that's, I don't know, 65% of the dollar of what you normally would buy them for. For example, if you would buy them for normally for $100 each, but you get them for $65 each, and then you let that money sit, or $50 and you let that money sit. Like today I bought something, I want to say 40 cents on the dollar, and then I bought something else that's about, again, about 40 cents on the dollar. When I say a dollar, I mean it compared to a wholesale price. So 40% of what you would pay for at a wholesale new tire company. And that is stuff that just has been coming recently on its own. Now if I were to choose and look harder and I want to spend more money, and then that'll be way easier. Not easier, way more tires. I mean, it'll be easy to find, to tell you the truth, but it's like one of the biggest opportunities I see right now in a lot of things. I mean, I see a lot of opportunity in real estate. Of when it comes to mobile homes, I see, when that's the real estate side. But when it comes to business, I mean, it's something where selling every day, there's a lot of cars everywhere. I mean, man, I haven't seen so many cars in history before. I live in SoCal, and right now the amount of cars I'm seeing on the road is like record breaking. Like, I'm driving miles and miles and miles and miles and miles and miles one way, and on the other lane on the freeway it's just like bumper to bumper to bumper. And this is like everyday type of traffic. Like, it's insane how many freaking cars are out there, how many drivers are on the road. It's crazy amount. What I'm trying to say is this massive amount of demand when it comes to tires out here. And it's kind of like, if you got it, you're gonna sell it. You just gotta hold on a little bit. So that's something that it's something where you really gotta put effort in. You gotta be very aware of it, and try, you know, try to buy more inventory. Try to the easiest part of it all, by the way, it might sound funny, but the sales part, when it comes down to selling, is the easiest part. It's like, well, how much is it? And it's you give them a price, and it kind of seems like it's like prices from like 4 or 5 years ago, you know. Because if you're doing a market, which is the best way to do business right now, in my opinion, I mean, yeah, you can go and shoot for more profitable. This is what I like to do. I like to shoot for more profitability per item when the times are slow. When business is slower, I like to sell tires around market price. If not at market price, around market price. So I'm just saying, if you buy a wholesale tire for like $100, and let's just say you sell it for about 150, that's market price, right? So if you buy at 65 cents of a dollar, so if you buy at $65 for that $100 wholesale price, then you sell it at 150. That's what I do when times are slower, when there's less customers. But when there's a lot of customers, I sell at market price, so markup price. So that means if I buy it at 65, market is at 150, I sell it for like 115 or something like that. And so that's where you have more volume. Everybody you talk to is a yes, and you just keep the ball rolling real fast. And you have your guys just mounting and mounting. And so that's the times that we're in right now, where you mark up your tires. And so that's the easiest part, by the way, is the sales. When you come in, how much are they? Show them the tire, tell them the price, and it sells. So I'm not even gonna put much effort into the talk of sales. I'm gonna be talking more about the buy side and the holding side, which is probably the most underrated thing there is in the tire shop business, is the holding part. Because yeah, if you can get tires to buy at 65 cents or a dollar and then sell it like 2 days later, then everybody's like, hell yeah, that's tires that I want, right? Of course. But what about if you buy it at 65 cents at a dollar and you hold it for like 4 months? Well, that's more of the topic of holdings, what I'm talking about. It could be 6 months, it could be a year. But that's where I see the opportunity right now, where you have these wholesalers that are giving some real huge discounts. I think it's a lot of things why they're doing that, a lot of reasons. I'd rather just not talk about that, because it could take a long time just talking about that part. But as a tire shop owner, just know that you have that option right now. And in my case, where I want to be spending less time at the shop now. I'm pretty young, by the way. I mean, most people would say I'm pretty young, and acting like a let's just say semi-retired person is where this, let's just call it, strategy works very, very good. Again, buy as much inventory as you can right now for the best price, because you're able to have that option right now. Maybe later on there's gonna be less tires available and you're not gonna be able to get these prices. And if you don't even know what I'm talking about in this whole conversation, then do yourself a favor and start looking with your current distributors wholesalers and start asking what you got in very good prices. I mean, what is the big sales that you currently have? And then they'll tell you. Just a little warning, just beware of very rare sizes. Just an example, if they have something like a 35, 1250, 22, that's like old DOT and it's like 2 of them, or you know, those is gonna be super long before you're able to get the sale. Also be aware of the brand and the price. Just an example, the same size, 35, 12, 50, 20, right? Or 22. Let's just say they have a Toyo, right? Toyo whatever design. And you know those prices, when it comes to the wholesale prices, they're like, I don't know, 350 or something. And then they say, oh, I got it for 150, for example. But you don't really sell that size at all. Or you never even sold that size in your life before. But you sell used ones, and you know, you buy used ones, you probably pay what? $35 for a used one, or around there, 30 bucks, 25, but they're saying that 150, and you're saying, oh, it's a, you know, $200 off. It might sound like a good deal, man, but if you get it more closer to the price of the used, let's just say about $45, like if they'll tell you like, hey, brand new Toyos for $45. I know it sounds extreme, but trust me, it happens all the time. Then it's well, if I buy a used one for 35 and I buy a used one for 45, you know, $10 difference, that's almost the same thing. I'm down to buy it and hold them until I saw it like a used one. So pretty much if someone comes in and calls your shop and says, hey, I got 35, 1250, 22s on my truck, do you have used ones? Well, your answer's gonna be yes, I got some, you know, I got some right here. They're gonna be, you know, whatever, 90 bucks or whatever, you know, 100 bucks each, whatever you want to tell them. I'll sound for me myself, I'll just say 90 bucks, you know, just, but you know, people would be like 100 bucks, you know, just do a markup on that, and then they'll sell that way. So be aware of the price. Be comparing a lot of the times with a used tire price. Again, it might be like, damn, what are you talking about? Like, that's too cheap. But you gotta cover yourself just in case no one comes for a new one in that size, but you can sell them as used. And again, it happens all the time. So, and those, but again, those are for the weird sizes. Those very weird for you. I'm not saying weird like in general, because there can be someone I'm watching this video right now and be like, what are you talking about? Those like my bread and butter, man. I live on the East Coast where there's a lot of off-roading, a lot of trucks, we live in the country. You know, we use those tires a lot. There's always raining and people want nice rims, and you know, those things sell all the time. But out here in Cali, you know, those things don't really sell much, man. Everybody's road driving. That's like a weird size to me. And again, the quantity is just an example. It could be 4 tires, it could be 8 tires, it could be 25 tires. You know, it's different for everybody, but it's the same thing when it comes to your business. How much room you got, how much money you got to spend. And a lot has to do with how much workers you got. Because if you have a little bit of inventory and you have a lot of workers, then you know that business ain't really gonna work unless you're there. But if you have a lot of workers, you have a lot of inventory, then it's like, all right, well, it can self-sustain without me being there. This is just all examples. But the whole point, you know, the whole talk is this really works in many different ways. Here's one reason that it won't work. If you work by yourself at your shop, you're the only guy who opens the shop, closes the shop, you're the only guy who installs, you're the only worker there, you're the only guy at your shop, then this talk is pretty much not for you. It's gonna be overkill. You know, if you find all this inventory but you don't, like, you capacity don't have enough time to mount all those tires that you're trying to get in stock. You know, you're better off doing the business the same way you've been doing it, where you go pick up tires whenever they need it. But other than that, when you have like workers, like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 workers, then this is the topic where it's very beneficial for you. This is the way that I see that you can be successful, more successful in the next 6 to 12 months in the tire shop business, is by adding a lot more inexpensive inventory. And I'm saying inexpensive where it's like you pay inexpensively. It doesn't mean inexpensive brands. I mean, it could be any brand. It could be Hankook's, you're getting at that price. It can be Goodyear's, Pirelli's, Continentals. I mean, I can give you a lot of examples of tire brands that I pay that low amount for. And you're gonna be like, man, I don't believe you, man, but it's true. Let me see the video. I have a headband now, so as I was walking, the camera has been on my head the whole time. It's brand new, so I like it. I just need to like lower it and higher it to make sure that the camera's on. Compared to like when it's on your chest, the chest mount, you can just look at it from the back. Yeah, so again, it can be any brand. It doesn't have to be an expensive brand. I just use those because that's more realistic, where you can find super deals like that in those brands. But I get those prices for very good brands also. And sometimes when I give prices to my customers, they ask like, are those new? Because I give such a cheap price, they're like, are those new? So automatically, you know, that's a for sure sale right there. Oh, let me tell you something. If they don't buy at that price, if they don't buy at that price and they come back later on, those things are sold. Rarely do it happen where they need tires, they don't buy at that price, and then but they want to buy them, and they're like, oh, I'll come back later, it's all good, no worries. They leave and they come back some other day and the tires are sold, and then they're like crying. They're crying. It's like, oh, can you get more in that size and that price? I was like, no. I was like, That's like the sale, I just say. Yeah, we had a sale at that time, but you know, it's over. I can't get more at that price, but I can give you this brand and this price. And the price is like double. It's like, well, almost double, right? And then they're like, oh man, that's a lot. But that's actually just the regular price. If you saw that one tire for 150 bucks on market price, then that's market price, 150 bucks, and you're giving that price, and it's like, and it's a lot for them, right? So yeah, so this is a underrated, I want to say it's probably the most underrated topic there is in the tire shop business, and it can be for other businesses too. But again, when we're talking about this topic, we're talking about you knowing your inventory, you knowing how strong these sizes are. It's not like you're brand new to the business and you're gonna just be choosing tires because they're cheap. Oh, that, now you're in trouble. You know what I mean? I'm talking about like, you already know your business. You've been in the game for many years. You know your business. You know the tire size. You know what they're gonna sell for. You know how long it's gonna take about. Just an example, how long, right? Like if you have an example, the extreme sizes, the extreme example, 205, 55, 16 at a very good price example. You know that thing's gonna probably last a day and those things are sold, right? Like if you buy regular prices at 45 bucks and you find a deal for 25 bucks, then you know those things are gonna sell like in a day. The first customer is gonna come and ask is the first one who's gonna buy. Cause it can be like, oh, I come from used ones, 205, 55, 16s, and how much are those? 50 bucks. Okay, well I have brand new ones for, let's just say 65 bucks or 70 bucks, whatever. Then that customer will be like, oh man, no, you know what, on second thought, I'll take the new ones. All right, well normal price is like 100 bucks, right? 90 bucks. So that's the extreme case of how fast they sell compared to how slow, the extreme slow side, right? Let's say like size 275, 60, 17. Those things are like never gonna sell. No matter how good those prices are, you purchase price, no matter how good that price is never gonna sell. And that's the extreme side of the extreme example of the slow moving one. But what about in the middle, like regular price? Again, 235, let's say 55, 17 this time, 235, 55, 17. You're looking more like about a 6 months range, right? You're probably gonna sell that thing like in 6 months, but you can get them out at 45 bucks each, 40 bucks each, brand new with sticker and everything. It's worth the wait, right? So, and I'm just talking about like if straight up they need that size. Well, what about if you try hard, you try selling it and it's like someone comes in for a 225, 55, someone comes in for a, you know, 225, 55, 17, or like 235, 60, 17 or something. And you can put those instead. Then, and they're cool with it, right? They're just like, oh, I just want something cheap. Well, we have these for cheap. All right, cool, let's do it. Then that'll sell even faster that way. Very, very important is what I'm seeing right now is this low topic of more inventory. But it's very powerful. It's like owning real estate. if you do the buy and hold, where it's like slow and long, because you're talking about doing this with a lot of sizes, right? So we're talking about not just one size, we're talking about a lot of the sizes that's gonna be done like this. But like again, it's like I see with real estate, the buy and hold. You buy a property that's, you make a little bit of money on cash flow, but you buy in a good area and you just keep it for a long time. 10 years later, how much is that property being worth? It was all paid for by your tenant, plus giving you a little cash flow every single month. And it was a little bit of money out of your pocket if you found a way of doing that, whether you refinance after and you pull your money out. And let's just say you're in it with no money, or a little bit of money, or whatever. Then your long term is gonna be great. I mean, during the whole time is gonna be great too, but it's something where a lot of people want to do it. Oh, I want a little bit faster way, I want a little bit better way. Well, you can do that too, you can do that way too, but this is more of a topic of realistically it's gonna work great. Realistically, you can make a lot of money from it eventually, and realistically, your shop is gonna be very consistent with daily cash flow, weekly cash flow, monthly cash flow. However you measure your shop, and that's the truth when it comes to, let's call it the buy and hold inventory strategy. It's very good. So yeah, sometimes these topics are a little slow. You know, business, you know, it can be a very good thing. It's very slow, but very consistent. I'd rather have a slow and consistent business than a very volatile business, where sometimes you make a lot of money and then you can go like 6 months and didn't make anything, or actually negative. You're losing money every single month because you have expenses. So I'd rather be slow and steady than fast and volatile. But again, in tire shop business, you have that option too, where you can move. Oh yeah, just buy a lot of the fast moving stuff too. Go for it. If you have enough money, go for it. Keep buying and holding, it's fine. Just keep growing. More power to you. But when it comes to all the other sizes, is what I'm talking about. And that's why I see you can be for sure successful in the tire shop business. For sure you're gonna be able to make sales. For sure you're gonna be able to grow. For sure your shop is gonna be able to maintain another worker, then another worker. And for sure you're gonna be able to afford the better workers, by the way, which is the workers that you're gonna be paying more. And those are gonna be the ones that are better, that works better, right? That's why you're paying them more, and they're gonna be able to stay with you longer. Because, you know, shops, a lot of times you have the workers, or it's like, oh, you got a new worker now. Well, it's kind of like, yeah, they sucked. You know, they sucked, and you just had them because you don't have any other worker. Or they were good and they left because they can make more money somewhere else. But if you would have paid them more, they would have been still with you. So eventually you can have really solid, strong workers. You can pay more, you can afford to pay more, because your shop, your business is just very, very consistent. It's very powerful. I'm telling you guys, very, 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 very powerful. And I say this because not a lot of people do it. I mean, some people do it by accident because it's like, oh man, I bought these, I just forever to sell. Oh yeah, I sold it. You know? But I'm talking about like, you purposely buy those to hold and to sell. And you know your money's not gonna be you're not gonna have your money in your pocket. It's gonna be in the tires, right? So you invest your money, and your money's gonna sit there, and you can be like, oh yeah, my money's kind of being lost to inflation if you hold long enough, kind of. And that's where I'm like, that's kind of like the price to pay And so eventually the tires sell, then you know you capture that money plus profit. But that's how I see it, where it's like, all right, well, you can have a lot of money just sitting there. That's the price to pay to own a business. You know, that's the price to pay to have a lot of inventory, a lot of options when the customer comes, and you have different tires you can put on their vehicle. It's very, very powerful, very, very powerful method. I think that's the best you can get right there in what's coming, and what you see right now is take advantage of buying those inexpensive brands, inexpensive prices, buy, hold, sell little by little, and you can have a lot of success. All right, I'll let you guys go. I'll see you guys later. Mamba out.